Number 8. A monkey business heist. During the afternoon on July 7, 2023, a woman from Florida found herself in handcuffs after swiping a baby monkey from a local pet shop. The theft took place at Robert's Pet Shop in Homestead, renowned for its exotic pets, and it quickly became the talk of the town. Employees at the store found out that one of their prized 5-week-old marmoset monkeys, each valued at approximately $7,000, had mysteriously vanished. After looking at the security footage, they were in for an even bigger surprise. Turns out, the thief was someone they least expected. Lazaro Sardinas, the store manager, recounted the incident to Local 10 News, saying that they saw her coming over and grabbing the monkey and just walking straight out of the front door with it. The accused woman, 53-year-old Melena Wood, had been a familiar face at the pet store for over 15 years. As per the video evidence, Wood managed to stuff the tiny marmoset monkey into her bag and swiftly made her exit from the store. She later contacted the pet store over the weekend, trying to negotiate the return of the stolen monkey. This call provided law enforcement with the crucial lead they needed to identify and arrest her. 3 days later, Wood was taken into police custody, facing 3 grand theft charges. 2 more charges were tacked on for separate theft incidents at 2 other stores, where she stole valuable coral worth around $3,000. According to the last update, Wood was behind bars at Turner Guilford Night Correctional Center, with a $15,000 bond hanging over her head. Number 7. Teens fake kidnapping drama. In April 2014, a Florida teenager decided to fake her own kidnapping to win back her ex-boyfriend's sympathy. It all began with a frantic call from 16-year-old Ankita Lavender to her dad. She claimed she had been kidnapped by 2 men in a white truck. This led to an Amber Alert being issued, and a massive search operation was launched at a considerable cost to the county. Despite initially sticking to her abduction story, Lavender later confessed that it was all a ruse to grab her ex-boyfriend's attention, who had recently ended their relationship. In the end, she called her father around 7:20 p.m., reporting the supposed kidnapping near Redort and County Road 220 in Middleburg, Florida. Her mother immediately dialed 911 and relayed Lavender's account. She mentioned that her daughter had been at a park before the abduction. Lavender's father also got on the line, telling the dispatcher that when the truck had stopped, he heard his daughter saying stop, and then the call abruptly ended. Within the first 2 hours, 40 investigators from the Clay County Sheriff's Office responded, launching a comprehensive search on the ground and in the air. Around 10:25 p.m., just 3 hours later, a driver made a discovery. Less than a mile from where Lavender claimed she was taken, she was found lying on her back by the side of the road, near the intersection of Henley and Carlotta Roads. Concerned, the driver called 911, and Lavender was taken to Orange Park Medical Center for examination. Initially, she complained of injuries, alleging that she had been thrown from the truck. But authorities found no visible signs of injuries, and eventually she admitted it was all a hoax. She confessed that she was feeling down and decided to play the sympathy card by faking her own kidnapping. Social media added another layer to her story. Lavender's tweets hinted at her plan days before her breakup with her boyfriend. On April 23rd, 4 days before the split, she posted about going MIA for a while and followed that with a tweet suggesting she had a plan. The breakup happened on April 27th, the same day she tweeted that if she disappeared, it would not even be a problem. The sheriff's office was considering charging the teenager for the estimated $5,000 to $6,000 cost incurred during the search. While the sheriff believed she could be charged, it was up to the state's attorney's office. If the charges were filed, they were never disclosed due to her minor status. Number 6. Late Night McDonald's Run. On July 25, 2023, a Florida woman's late-night craving for McDonald's led to her arrest for driving under the influence. Valerie Wilford found herself in trouble with the law after she failed to make a proper stop at a red light, catching the attention of a Claremont police officer. The incident happened around 2:20 a.m. at the intersection of US 27 and Steves Road in Claremont. Rather than stopping before the white line at the intersection and waiting for the red light to turn green, Valerie's car glided past the line and continued through the intersection while the light remained red. That's when the police officer pulled her over. At first, Valerie seemed oblivious to the fact that she was being stopped by the police. She continued driving southbound on US 27 for a brief moment until she finally noticed the officer's flashing lights behind her. Without any prompting, Valerie began apologizing profusely to the officer. She expressed remorse even before the officer had a chance to address her. The officer then informed Valerie of her infraction, which was the improper stop at the red light. She apologized once again, but when asked for her driver's license, she mistakenly handed over her insurance card. When asked about her destination, Valerie explained that she had just come from McDonald's. Adding to the oddity of the situation, the officer noticed the smell of alcohol emanating from inside the vehicle. To make things even stranger, there was a half-eaten hamburger sitting in the front seat, with Valerie taking bites out of it. She disclosed to the officer that before she visited McDonald's, she had been at a local bar where she had consumed 2 vodka sodas before deciding to swing by the fast food joint. Further raising suspicion, the officer noticed that Valerie's responses were sluggish, her eyes appeared glossy, and her complexion was pale and flushed. At the officer's request, Valerie agreed to undergo a sobriety test, which she did not pass. Consequently, she was arrested for driving under the influence and transported to the Lake County Jail. While at the jail, Valerie willingly spoke with the officers about her evening activities. She maintained that she neither uses drugs nor took any medications. She also consented to a breathalyzer test, the results of which were nearly double the legal limit for blood alcohol concentration. As a consequence for this being her first DUI offense, Valerie was assigned a $1,000 bond. Her trial is still ongoing. Number 5. A racist encounter while fishing. In May 2017, a day of fishing in Florida turned ugly for a couple when they met a seemingly drunk woman who subjected them to a barrage of racist insults. Alexander Diaz, who is of Latino descent, recorded a disturbing 2-minute triad with a woman who directed racist comments at him and his girlfriend during their fishing outing in Florida. As the woman launched into her verbal attack, Diaz, who is bilingual, ingeniously responded by speaking only in Spanish while discreetly recording the entire episode on his phone. The video kicks off with the woman demanding Diaz's girlfriend to reveal her address, asserting that if they don't live there, they should not be fishing here. But as she continued to follow them down the street, her language escalated dramatically. She shouted obscenities at them, cursing them to get out of there over and over again. In response, Diaz turned to his camera and began speaking in Spanish, prompting the woman to retort and tell him to speak English, while calling him a Cuban in a derogatory way. She then aggressively confronted Diaz's girlfriend and berated her for laughing, asking if she was black or white. Nonchalantly, the girlfriend responded with laughter, asking if it even mattered to her. The woman, undeterred, snapped back and said that it matters. Continuing her offensive comments, she declared that Cubans are nothing but pieces of shit to Americans, before turning to Diaz and getting into his face, ordering him to get out of here. Diaz could not help but comment on the woman's intoxicated state, exclaiming that the smell of alcohol on her breath was very intense. He uploaded the video to YouTube, expressing disbelief at the treatment he and his girlfriend endured. He noted that as a pure 100% American, he never expected such treatment, emphasizing the daily challenges people face due to their race or language. This incident occurred in Miami, although the exact location remains unspecified. As far as anyone knows, no legal action was taken against the woman. Number 4. Dumping dirt as revenge. In August 2019, a Florida man landed in hot water after he unloaded a bucket of dirt onto his girlfriend's car during a heated argument. 20-year-old Hunter Mills from Crestview, Florida, was in police custody after he dumped a load of dirt on his girlfriend's car during a lover's quarrel. He was arrested and charged with felony criminal mischief, causing property damage exceeding $1,000. The drama unfolded when Mills invited his girlfriend to his workplace, Full Dirt Inc., a land clearing and excavation company, for a conversation. She got there while driving a white 2010 Cadillac that belonged to someone else. According to the county sheriff's office, Mills posed a question to his girlfriend, but she chose not to respond. Frustrated, Mills used a front-end loader to unload a bucket full of dirt onto the car's roof, targeting the driver's side. Unfortunately, the driver's side window was open, allowing the dirt to infiltrate the car's interior, filling up air vents, the center console, and power windows. Although his girlfriend escaped without injury, the car's owner estimated the damage at a substantial $8,000. The Cadillac suffered scratches on the roof, hood, and trunk. When questioned by deputies, Mills admitted to his actions, explaining that he had dumped the dirt to make his girlfriend leave him alone. Mills, a student at Crestview High School, was released later that day after posing a $1,000 bond. No more updates have been available on this case since then. Number 3. An elderly man violated. In August 2020, a 19-year-old caregiver abused an 88-year-old man under his care in Hillsborough County, Florida, which eventually led to his arrest. Jonah Delgado, the caregiver in question, was taken into police custody for physically assaulting the elderly man he was responsible for. Disturbing home surveillance footage captured Jonah slapping the frail man multiple times in the face, violently dragging him from his wheelchair, and screaming abusive language at him. The video shows Jonah initially placing the elderly man in a wheelchair before abruptly slapping him across the face. He tells the victim to relax, but proceeds to slap him again. Jonah becomes increasingly agitated, berating the elderly man with insults, like calling him stupid and asking if he was an idiot, while physically mistreating him. Jonah then forcefully removes the elderly man from the wheelchair, slapping him again and dragging him back towards the bed. He goes on to abuse the victim further, pushing him onto the bed and striking him in the stomach multiple times. Jonah was swiftly apprehended with the assistance of the Pasco Sheriff's Office just hours after the incident. Hillsborough County Sheriff Chad Cronister condemned Jonah's actions as deplorable and said that he had betrayed the trust placed in him as a caregiver. As part of his plea deal, Jonah will attend anger management classes, perform 200 hours of community service, and issue a letter of apology to the victim. Number 2. No snitch needed. In May 2014, a 21-year-old Florida man named Taylor Harrison learned a harsh lesson about the consequences of his actions. Harrison, hailing from Port St. Lucie, found himself in trouble when he decided to proudly display his illegal activities on social media. In a brazen move, he posted selfies on Facebook showing himself shirtless, seated in a car with a stack of drugs and cash in his lap. What made this even more daring was that he was just a few feet away from a sheriff's squad car. But Harrison did not stop there. He took things a step further by selling controlled substances to narcotics detectives from the Martin County Sheriff's Office, who happened to pull up next to him. Harrison also shared photos on his Facebook page, documenting a drug transaction with an undercover officer. In response, the sheriff's office played along. They posted Harrison's ill-advised selfies on their own Facebook page, along with his mugshot, quipping about the situation. Harrison's selfies, celebrating his alleged criminal lifestyle, even included a shot taken by a narcotics detective posing as his customer. Harrison was held on a $55,000 bond. Interestingly, this was not the first time he had crossed paths with the law in Martin County, as he had previously been arrested on a misdemeanor drug charge in January 2014 as well. Number 1. Road rage shootout involving fathers. In October 2022, two fathers got involved in a road rage incident that ended badly. 35-year-old William Hale from Douglas, Georgia, and 43-year-old Frank Allison from Callahan, Florida, were both charged with attempted murder after it was over, because the incident resulted in both fathers firing their guns at each other. In the process, they ended up shooting each other's daughters. The events unfolded around 6 p.m. on US Highway 1 near Callahan, just outside Jacksonville. William was driving a black Dodge Ram with 5 people inside, including his mother, Brittany. Frank, on the other hand, was driving a grey Nissan Murano with 3 occupants, including his wife Jessica and their daughter Shelby, all heading back to Georgia. The chaos began with both men accusing each other of dangerous driving, brake checking, and erratic behavior. Offensive gestures and even a water bottle were exchanged between the 2 cars. Frank fired his gun while driving, believing he had hit the Hale family's tires. Tragically, he had actually hit the young girl. In response, William opened fire, hitting Frank's 14-year-old daughter in the back, which led to a collapsed lung. In retaliation, Frank shot William's 5-year-old daughter in the leg. Thankfully, both girls survived the chaos. Sheriff Bill Leeper strongly condemned both fathers for their reckless actions, labeling their road rage shootout as pure stupidity. Desperate calls for help were made to 911 as the situation escalated. Both drivers continued north with their injured daughters in the back seat. They eventually stopped when they saw a Nassau County Sheriff's Office patrol car. But instead of cooperating, they began arguing and physically fighting each other, prompting the deputy to intervene and break up the fight. As a result of their reckless actions, both William and Frank were booked into jail on attempted murder charges. Which one of these Florida people did the most absurd thing out of all? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time on Bad Badger.